Aloha! Welcome to another episode of the Gun Talk. I'm flying Hawaiian. Here with us is Big Hoss and Cannon.
Hello.
Hello, everyone.
This episode, we are debunking common firearm myths, propaganda by the media, and pulp culture. So, before we get more into it, let's go on and hear from W, our channel sponsor. If you guys like good energy drinks, but without the crash, W is the way to go. So I know right now they're doing a little deal. I don't know if it's for everyone, but it is getting a free 30 serving hydration tub from W. I'm not seeing how much longer it's extended to. If you go use checkout free hydro, please. You should get a 30 serving deal of one of the hydration tubs. Did you ever see a deal, Cannon, about when they're ending it?
No, I didn't. I got a message from them telling me I should go back and make an order because I should really get in on it.
Yeah, I did too, but it might end at the end of this week, starting Monday morning. It'll be done for, but we don't know for sure exactly what day. But
And I saw right now they are doing a collab with Freerin, the anime. They got shaker cups that look like metal shaker cups and a new flavor that is limited edition. I don't know if it's going to be going away or if it's permanent. I don't know, but it
yeah,
looks really good.
it's a honeydew and white grape flavor.
Yeah, it sounds really good.
It doesn't sound all that bad, but I got order ready to go with tiger's blood, you know, and that orange slice. So hopefully Mike can get some good drinks out of that. So
I haven't ordered in a while, but I need to place an order sooner or later.
Oh yeah, me too. But everybody, do you remember that scene where your hero reloads once and fires a whole bunch of shots? Or that bullet that could just punch through a concrete wall like butter? We all seen it. Big Hoss, Ken, and me. We all love movies. But we're going to discuss these impossible movie moments revealing practical realities of firearms that pulp culture, news media wants to get horribly wrong. So we're going to start off with the Infinite Magazine. We all seen those movies, including video games, where you can just shoot and shoot and shoot, don't have to worry about reloads. Other video games, we have to reload every single time when we shoot. So this is very unrealistic. Let's go to a realistic part of it. Okay. Big Hoss, Cannon, chime in if you want. You know, when we go out to a range, go shoot, we only have the limit of our magazine. It could be 10 rounds. It could be 15. So those 10 or 15 rounds can go through within seconds. So these
Yeah.
movies that we see load in a magazine, slide back and all that, and start going to town on their enemies. That's we all wonder, where's the reload?
Yeah.
Truth
I
is,
mean,
it's off screen, but no one ever shows the off screen moment of where they are reloading. They give you a couple seconds of action happening that they don't give you, like, oh, this guy needs to quickly reload his mag so that getting that other stuff done. But no, it's they cut the film. They have the person just continue shooting after off screen they've already reloaded.
Oh yeah, and one of the great movies, or I think was a really great movie that showed this, non-infinite magazine is John Wick. You see him with every single fight scene, reload, load in another mag, check his chambers, uh, everything, and that's real life kind of moment how shooters will go to a range, shoot, and reload, or if they end up with a malfunction, you know, tap rack and roll to clear it. We make sure that we're safe with it and everything. And so Hollywood showing, let's say, a revolver that holds 6 shots, shooting 50 rounds without seeing that cylinder popped out and reload and more rounds being put into it. That's very unrealistic.
yeah. It seems like at the beginning of the millennium, and maybe in '99, they kind of started with on-screen reloads. Before that, I don't remember many on-screen reloads ever.
Especially
And
in
even
grindhouse films.
yeah, and even afterwards, uh, there was still some films like Land of the Dead where you see that zombie with the AK that has like infinite bullets in it, and it's like I, you know, okay, a zombie with an AK, that's cool, but he shoots, or no, it's a stare AUG, that's what it is. Um, okay, that's cool. I'll run with that, but he shoots 50, 60 bullets out of it, doesn't reload it once.
Or
All right.
what about Metal Gear Solid? Your sidearm has infinite number of rounds, and you see it, and you could just go shoot everything just with that.
Well, actually, that's they fixed that in the newer ones.
Well, that's good. At least they're realizing that.
I mean, you
Um
still have unlimited rounds, but you have to reload every 6 or 7.
yeah. They've always made it to where you had to reload your gun.
Or like,
But they've always made it to where you shouldn't rely on your gun.
yeah,
And that's the cool thing about it. Games like Splinter Cell, those you have uh,
unlimited rounds.
unlimited rounds, but you do have to reload your gun. Uh, with a realistic clip, because that's how it is. He's in the universe of Tom Clancy. Tom Clancy's real stickler for important things that are real or realistic military things.
Oh yeah, and let's all be realistic here. Seeing these movies with unlimited ammo or endless ammo, pretty much. That most people get really upset about it. But let's say, look at some of these movies that have AR-15s. In actuality, a average person can get 45 to 60 rounds in a minute. that is roughly about 10 rounds per second, and we'll have to reload at least 3 to 4 times depending on the size of magazines you have to be able to do that.
Right.
And a lot of these magazine bans that's going around has limit ourselves to 10 to 15 rounds in a magazine. I don't know what it is like with your down there in Louisiana. Here in Colorado, it's a 15 round mag limit. In some areas, other areas, it's a 10 round mag limit.
We have drum mags with like 70 rounds of 9mm of 22, and then drum mags for pistols with like 30 rounds.
So you guys don't have a mag limit?
No.
Not that I know of. I mean, if they have it, I've gotten.
I mean, except
I
when
haven't gone clip shopping lately, so I really couldn't tell you, or magazine shopping lately, so I really couldn't tell you what the mag limit is. But like, I have, like you said, I have like a 80 round, 22 drum magazine, and a 25 round magazine for my 1022 rifle.
and
So
my
And we
dad
have
has a 30.
it's 100 round drum mag, the dual drum mag
Yeah, for our AR.
or
yeah,
AR.
and here's the thing: I'm not the most fastest shooter, but someone who is as fast, like let's say pistol form, go with Glock, the most common one out there. You see people messing with the mechanism to make it a fully auto, but an average person can get 240 to 300 rounds per minute. I gotta say, I could probably do maybe 50 to 100 rounds in a minute, but that's me. I don't go all crazy. Okay, I try to conserve my ammo,
Yeah.
but that's still like 10 rounds per second. But
And a
Right.
lot of movies don't address one thing, another thing about this, and that is weight.
oh yeah,
Like, are the magazines we have that are these large magazines, that 100 round drum mag of 223 probably weighs a good 10 pounds.
and then seeing mass shooters carrying an AR with a dual drum magazine right there, it's probably adding, as you said, another 10 pounds to the firearm. So you're looking at about maybe holding 20 pounds right there in your hand. You're bound to screw up and have a malfunction.
Or get tired and lose, your aim's not going to be as good.
Yeah,
That's why they have so many bullets, because your aim's not going to be as good, because let me
Your
tell
arm's
you,
gonna
holding
tire
that
out.
thing, your arms get tired really quick.
oh yeah. And
Like,
so,
we have
well,
the round drum to go with our, to be a rest mount with our bipod to just, target shoot. And then we could take turns target shooting without having to reload. But we're not carrying that thing around for long periods of time.
no, it's really exhausting. You can't just hold up a already maybe 5 pound uh firearm and add another 10 to 20 pounds on top of it.
Yeah.
So, I'm glad you brought that up, Big Hoss, because, no one really considers the weight of these ammunitions, and already the mag is about maybe a pound or two as it is empty. So you're seeing John Wick carrying five magazines, about two more AR types, and then a whole bunch of shotgun ammo. You know, he's weighed down quite a bit.
But
Yeah.
he did his training with that weight so that he could do it and look fluid and flawless. Same thing with any professional who does any sort of shooting. They will wear weights to weigh down themselves to work up their muscles to accept that weight.
Oh yeah, and that was no easy task for Keanu Reeves to wear a weighted belt or something to be able to maneuver with all those magazines, full magazines. Yeah, they may be blanks, but blank still has some weight to it.
Yeah, it may not have. It may be minusing like 5 to 10 ounces of 9 millimeter bullet. Yes, that can add up, but it's still going to be heavy.
Oh yeah, and like when we're talking about like with ammunitions, like 115 grain ammunition to 124 grains, that's only the weight of the projectile, and that thing is very small. So
Yeah.
add that all up, like a 10-pound bag of just projectiles alone. They're about maybe about what 1,000 rounds in it roughly
Yeah.
projectiles.
Yeah.
So 10 pounds, that's quite a bit of weight, especially carrying around on your waist.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a
Yeah.
pretty strong guy, but even my ammo box with 100 rounds of 12 gauge, I can barely lift.
So in reality, all this stuff that you see in movies, you're not going to be able to do alone uh yourself. You have to build tolerance, you have to train. And as a firearm instructor, yes, I'm going to say train, 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 because it's going to come in handy when you're in a self-defense situation. But it's good to know how you know your firearms, how safe you are, and everything. You don't want to have this mentality, oh, I got unlimited ammo, when you're coming in a self-defense situation and you see your firearm locked back because it's out of ammo. You don't know what to do. So
Or go into a situation saying, "Well, I've seen the movies. I know what I'm going to do, and this is how I'm going to do it." Because that's a movie. That's not real life. You're not going to shoot six guys in the head with a magazine and have no problems because you're going to do it fast, like Keanu Reeves and stuff. That's one. It's a movie.
mhm.
Two.
And they have the money to actually like get really expensive high-end firearms that were built to not jam. But whenever you're talking about your normal Joe Schmo, 9 to 5 worker, they're not going to have these couple $1,000 race guns that are designed, like almost never to jam.
You're not going to have the Pit Viper and stuff like that Keanu Reeves had and used, and uh, you're not going to have the training Keanu Reeves had, and you're not going to have, or that any of these movie stars have. You're not going to have any of their training or any of their weapons. I mean, these
Oh
are
yeah.
several $1,000 weapons.
And they also don't they usually cut out whenever the movie does jam unless the movie calls for it.
Oh yeah, and
Yeah.
it's all in the script writing on that. But when we come to real life, there's no real life script for us.
Yeah.
There's no, oh, bad guy, please stop so I can reload. No, 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 it don't happen like that.
Yeah.
No,
You
it's
know,
you run as fast as you can to some place where you can hide behind and reload and hope a bullet doesn't hit you heading to there.
oh yeah. And so now this moves off to the discussion about how media uses all this endless ammo and no reloads and whatnot as to get the heightened attention, and getting the dramatic effect. But and all in all, you know, this myth is not realistic. And when you have to look at it between real life and Hollywood style, that these magazines that we see in movies that are not being reloaded, when it comes time to need, most people have that mindset of, "Oh, I don't need it. I got all my training by watching movies. I'm good." And I've seen it all the time in my CHP classes, all my teachings, that people think they know everything because they saw it in movies.
Yeah.
I was like that way once with karate, and you know what? My teacher failed me because I wouldn't learn.
And that's a good point of, not willing to learn. Is like, if you're this, I know everything person, you can't learn anything new. You know, you can't accept new information that is out there. You
My
can't.
teacher put it like he did with like a Mr. Miyagi. Whenever you have a full cup of water and you try adding more water, and it's like, where is that water going to go?
Oh yeah.
There's no more in that. I know it was like in it wasn't Mr. Miyagi, but it was another uh training movie. It might have been Bruce Lee or something.
No, I think I know what you're talking about. Um, it was a Jackie Chan movie with um, Jet Li. Forbidden Kingdom. That's what it is.
Exactly. Yes.
Because
It's
you
the
had Jackie
perfect
Chan
analogy.
talking to the guy that came back in time for the staff, and he was saying, "Oh, I know all this kung fu and everything," and you have Jackie still pouring the water into a cup while it's running over full.
Yeah. That's basically how he put it. And it's like after that, I started really emptying my mind to everything I went into. And that's actually how I ended up mastering what I'm best at, is because I went in, I don't know anything about this. I don't care what I've seen on TV. I don't care what I've seen in media or trained. I go in knowing I have so much to learn that that's how I've always gotten the best grades, gotten the best training, and done the best I can, is because of that mindset.
Yeah, I'm the same way, but I'm never gonna call myself a master. I'll say I'm somewhat of an expert, but I'm not gonna say, yeah, I'm the expert. No, I know some things. I'm always open to learn new things because you know what? You learn new things every day, and it's really good to learn. And to most people, even back when I was a kid, they always told me knowledge is power. Forget the money, forget all this other stuff. To have power is to have knowledge.
Yeah.
And so we're going to take a little short break, and we're going to see our other channel sponsor, Threads, and then we're going to come back and have Big Hoss take over with his topic. All right, Big Hoss, let's go into your topic. What about the cop killer bullets?
Yeah. There's a lot of bullets out there that the media have branded cop killers, like, oh, they're more likely to kill a cop than anything else. People are, all these criminals are using these cop killer rounds. But really, there is no such thing as a specifically cop killer bullet. There are, there are bullets that are either made to penetrate, and there are bullets that are made to do maximum harm. And there's really none that do both. For example, they frangular rounds or fragmenting rounds. They labeled those as cop killers for the longest time, but the thing is, it's no more deadly than any other person, and it's actually less deadly to cops because cops usually wear body armor on the job, which they cannot penetrate body armor. They can dig into body armor and probably cut up a person. It may still drop the cop from the energy transfer, but it will not, kill them any worse than it would if they were, hit with any other bullet. You see a lot of people go with full metal jackets. They're meant to go in, stay together, and leave as little damage as possible. That's why military uses them, is so that, whenever a soldier gets injured, it's an easy patch up job whenever it goes through and through, or if they have to go in and get it, it's not some torn apart hamburger meat.
Oh yeah, to follow up with that, a lot of criminals use FMJs, but as a firearm instructor, we're trained to teach people that we're training to use hollow points. The reason for that is that one, it's more humane way, and two, we're responsible for every round that comes out of that chamber. If you use an FMJ, that full metal jacket is going to go right through the person, continue on until it comes up to a hard, solid target. So you can end up hitting your attacker plus two more individuals, and you're still responsible for hitting those two individuals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they have the semi-jacketed, which it's really just a hollow point, but with a lead tip. It's it'll still penetrate slightly better, but it's not going to go through body armor. Really, anything that kills a cop is not anything that wouldn't kill another person. And the criminals are using what they can get their hands on, not like specific rounds that are meant to go through body armor and then explode inside.
Now that's Hollywood right there.
Exactly.
Like as you're saying, Big Hoss is like the goes through armor. Those are armor piercing ammunition, but they're not legal for civilians to have.
No.
And in that perspective, you have to realize, where are these criminals getting it if law-abiding citizens aren't allowed to get it?
And it's the same answer all the time, and it's black market. And that's something that it doesn't just go to ammo, it goes to weapons, it goes to firearms. No matter what the government does, the criminals will always find a way around it to get what they want, because other criminals know, hey, if I can get this from another country and smuggle it in, I can get 10 times what I paid for it, selling it to gang members.
Yeah. And that's the real problem that we have is
If you disarm the public, you're not going to disarm criminals.
right.
But a good case of armor piercing projectiles being used in real life is the North Hollywood shootout with Emil Matsuranu and I forget the other guy's name, but they used armor piercing bullets that they got from his cousin from like Libya.
Oh yeah, and for law-abiding citizens, or people who are new to firearms, and but knowing that there is such thing as armor-piercing rounds, let me tell you, it was banned in 1968 during the Gun Control Act of 1968. Okay, only law enforcement officers are allowed to have that, and military. Okay, the you have states that are very strict about ammunition, like it's California, New York, Illinois, Hawaii are the biggest ones that have the really restricted access to any kind of close to enough to an armor piercing ammo. But they're federally banned for law abiding citizens to have. And even like in Texas, a very relaxed state on the Second Amendment says it prohibits the knowing possession, manufacturing, sale, and transport of AP ammo.
Yeah. That's, the most common ammo that you're going to get any by any civilian is going to be either FMJ or hollow point. Even down here in Louisiana, it's hard and expensive to get fragmenting ammo, and that's only good against soft targets.
Oh yeah, it's I'd say even with soft targets, FMJs are not really reliable unless you hit bone, but so much these aren't cop killer bullets.
Exactly. They're no more dangerous than any other type of bullet for any other person. It's not just these criminals being like, "Oh, we need to get it," and then they go to a store and actually just buy it. No, there is no way for us to make cop like cop killer bullets. Because you either make something for piercing, which will leave a clean hole through something, or you make something for damage, which will mushroom out and dump all of its energy. There is really no combination that anyone outside of military can get their hands on.
Yeah. And what kind of with these FMJs, hollow points like that, all these different types of bullets, what have you found the most common material or even less common material that you found?
The most common ones are copper jacketed leather core or lead core. I don't know where leather came from. Lead core, which is really soft because they don't want it to, keep going after they hit something. Now they do make things that are meant for heavier things, which are like brass solids or bronze solids, and they make those just because they're easy to cast. But you won't see them being used with hunting or normal situations. They're strictly for long range steel shooting.
Oh yeah, and and with my background of gunsmithing, you know, to add on to materials, you have copper polymer composite type uh, rounds, and those are your fragmented bullets. And how I found like those fragmentable bullets are helpful, especially like in apartment complexes and stuff like that when you're defending yourself. Even if you miss the target, it hits the drywall. It's not going to continue through the drywall like a FMJ or even a hollow point could possibly do.
Exactly.
And so I think that's more like very interesting how some of these bullets are made. Not per se they're calling them cop killers, but how they're designed.
Point is, they look scary, and the media can hook onto, hey, these things look scary. Let's, they're starting to be used. They're new. Let's try and stop people from using them.
Oh yeah. So, anything else on that topic?
I believe I am done with mine.
We're gonna take a 30-second break, and then we're gonna come back with Canon. All right. Wish we had another ad for you guys. But all right, Canon, your topic of silencers. What fun things have you learned about that?
Well, we all know guns are loud. They've always been loud. They're always going to be loud, unless some miracle happens. But just to show you just how loud guns are, um, at going between 185 decibels to 180 decibels is an unsuppressed rifle and muzzle brake. That's louder than a rocket launch at 180 decibels. Between 170 decibels and 165 decibels is the average gunshot unsuppressed. A 22 long rifle unsuppressed is 145 decibels. An average gunshot suppressed is 140 decibels to 130 decibels. Now that's an average gun suppressed. That's not the people I'm using actually did tests with different rifles and different silencers. It is shown that different rifle barrel lengths and different models of guns and different calibers of bullets and different types of bullets and all these different factors and silencers and stuff like that all factor into what a suppressed gun can sound like. But the average gunshot that they were firing suppressed with a 308 to a 22, what was it, a 308? A 308 to a 223 was between 140, which is like instant risk of hearing damage, to into that safe hearing range to one between 140 and 130 where it's at. That is just within safe hearing range where you will not instantly lose your hearing or have or can cause instant hearing damage. So like an average gunshot suppressed can run risk of causing instant hearing damage or going just below it or going to 130 decibels, which is just below it. So that right there already shows you that suppressed guns don't work like they do in movies. But I'll keep going. An ambulance siren is 120 decibels. A 22 long rifle suppressed is 115 decibels. A jackhammer is 110 decibels. A rock concert or sporting event is 105 decibels. A nail gun is 100 decibels. Motorcycle subway 95 decibels. At 80 decibels, we have heavy traffic. A restaurant is 75 decibels. A fake suppressed gunshot in movies is 70 decibels. That's right above a conversation at 60 decibels. And a whisper is 30 decibels. This is from the American Suppression Association. This is their chart of how loud everything runs on the scale. Now, that right there should show you that real life suppressors and suppressors in movies are nothing near the same thing. Um,
Oh yeah, going on that, one of my favorite TV shows is The Blacklist. As going with like how loud that sound is, like one of the episodes showed shooting in a hallway, a closed-in hallway, but no one flinches.
yeah. Um, the guns were suppressed or unsuppressed.
Unsuppressed. They're like regular handguns and even rifles being shot around in there, but no one flinches. That
Yeah,
you could tell right there from that's Hollywood compared to real life. Real life, when you shoot inside of a gun range, an indoor gun range, you're going to have ringing in your ears.
yeah, because that's within the average range of you getting hearing loss instantly. Like, if you don't have hearing, hearing protection on, you're getting instant damage to your hearing instantly. So this should hurt you in some sort of way. Um,
I mean, people can dispute, like, oh, in the moment they had enough adrenaline that they didn't really notice the hearing damage. But again, you're still going to have like ringing.
and you're not going to be walking around afterwards going just talking like, yeah, we got him, like you see in cop dramas and movies where they kill the bad guy inside, and uh they fired off like 10 rounds and killed them and stuff like that. They're not going to be talking afterwards like they do in the shows, where they're going to be like, yeah, we followed the perp inside the building and we had to shoot him and kill him and stuff like that. No, they're going to be yelling extremely loud because they can't hear, you
Or
know?
even holding the ears until they can get their bearings. Because
Yeah.
hearing that loud of a noise, you're going to lose your sense of sight, your hearing, you know, you're going to be confused of where you're at because you're disoriented.
I mean, there's
Yeah.
a reason why military and police use flashbangs.
Right.
Because that does the exact same thing as disorientates loud noise can can like cause you to like cover your ears. It's bad. Why do you think the Republicans for the big beautiful bill was trying to keep the suppressors taken off of the NFA list because they're for hearing protection as well. Uh, you know,
Right.
they're not supposed to silence any gun. They're just tone down the noise so you can shoot without losing your hearing. But That's in my opinion. What else you got for us, Cannon?
Um, that's about it. Like I said, like your silence all depends on what you use and how much you spend and how much you know about guns and gunsmithing and stuff like that. Um, like if you're using a 22 subsonic uh, rifle that has a longer barrel, yeah, you're gonna get a quiet gun, but also in the same breath, it's not gonna work like it does in the movies where they're using it as a sniper rifle. You're gonna be shooting people and it's just gonna be hurting them. It's not gonna be killing people like it shows all the assassins in the movies using the 22s and stuff like that. Um, you know,
Oh yeah.
um, Also, when people are shooting, the best place to be is behind a gun because that's the quietest place. Um, in front of the gun is the loudest place that it is because the sound travels outward from the gun. And so you can be behind a gun and be like, "Oh, it's not that loud." But if you're even with the muzzle, it can make you go deaf.
Oh yeah. And following by that, have any of you guys seen the movies and you're like watching it and then you hear the sound and then followed by that sound you hear big huge explosion from a vehicle?
Yep.
Man, that is some unrealistic stuff right there. There's cars may explode. That's realistic, but not after one gunshot. It takes a lot more and a fire source to make a car explode. And even on top of that, the fuel tank of a vehicle is more designed to get rid of the fumes from the gasoline.
Because that's actually what's flammable is the fumes, not the gasoline itself. Like you could hold a lighter and like just like on gasoline if all the fumes if it has like absolutely no fumes or if it's like an electric spark is like you can spark all you want as long as there's no fumes in there it's not going to explode.
Oh yeah. A good example of that. Um, have you guys seen or heard of Demolition Ranch?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay. Before he retired, he was doing all these little crazy little stunts and like that of firearms, and one of them was actually shooting a armored vehicle with a bunch of different rounds, and each time those rounds hit, the car never exploded. So that video right there shows realistically, and you see in Hollywood films, Hollywood style. And he even
Yeah.
shot that armored vehicle with a tank round, and it still didn't explode.
Yeah, the
Right.
only way you're probably going to get an explosion from a gunshot is if you have a half full gas tank that's filled with fumes that have gone unchecked by the fume collector and the gas tank, and you shot it with a white phosphorus incendiary round,
Yeah.
which no one can get a hold of besides military.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then amongst with that unrealistic thing, then we move into close quarter combat situations. Like from the episode of the Blacklist where they're shooting inside the in a hallway and everything. That's like, that's very not realistic. And when we look at John Wick, his close combat, that is somewhat realistic, but still Hollywood.
Yeah.
Because I don't know about you guys, I'm not going to go into a close quarter combat situation where someone's shooting a gun at me and
Yeah.
go fight them.
No, that's not very smart to do.
So,
I mean, you have a chance if that person is like right on you, and you have a chance that you can disarm them before they fire. But if they're already shooting at you, do not go towards them.
oh no. Still, you got to look at yourself to protect and don't go towards the gunfire.
Yeah.
And we also, the media, not only, Hollywood, film, and TV, we also have to worry about the news media, especially with all this chaos going on. My hearts go out to the people from Australia who got caught up in the mass shooting down there. It's much we need to look at is how much of an accurate information these medias are getting. What kind of sources are they relying on? And which, to me, and I know we all hate to go political on here, it's like which political party is the main contributor of each of these medias. I don't know about you guys, but I think you guys could spot the difference between political party news media.
Exactly, because no matter how much you want to try and have the news be biased, whoever runs it is going to be who tells them what they can run.
Yeah. And that's where the problem lies, because that's what you're going to hear what's responsible for the shooting. One side is going to say the guns are responsible. The other side is going to say, something else is responsible. Maybe, just mental illness. Whenever that might not be the thing, it depends on what that person's agenda is.
Oh yeah. Have you guys noticed, like, in these news reports, you could, like, on the, let's say it's the left side news media, you hear them saying assault rifle or assault type weapon.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And then
because
on
it's a much it's a scare it's like a scary term basically. It's what really gets attention for people watching.
oh yeah, and not only just that, it's just Democrats. To me, comment down below, guys. If you're watching this, if you feel differently, to me, Democrats are the ones that labeled the ARs platform assault rifles. And everybody in the gun community, 2A community, and all that knows what AR really stands for. And then you have on the right side of saying that they use this AR-15 in this kind of way, or this type of handgun in this kind of way. But you have this hero that stopped it. And then, but still on the left side, you don't hear about no hero. You don't hear about no good Samaritan that stopped the situation. And the only thing you can hear is, oh, when officers showed up, they got the suspect in handcuffs, or they put down the suspect. That's all.
Yeah, or they don't even focus on who stopped it, just the person who was committing it.
Yeah.
Or
They
who
go
the
into
real
their
problem could have
background
been.
and stuff and do everything that they can to say, this person, yes, he's a villain, but it's not the gun that they're using, which they typically blame, like, oh, they had this type of gun, they had this type of ammo. It's not the gun and ammo's fault.
It's the person behind the weapon. And, you know, in my own reality, and this is my own way, guns don't kill people, people kill people. Okay? That, to me, what that means is a gun is not going to sit there and go shoot up something or kill anybody. It has to take some kind of physical force for pretty much someone picking up that firearm and shooting. That
Like the
the
dog who
fire,
shot his owner.
yeah. I was surprised with that. It's like, why will you be messing around with your firearm and then leave it loaded, pointing right at you, and have your dog, and then your dog jumps up on the bed and firearm goes off?
Yeah, you can't predict what your dog's going to do.
No, and that's breaking 2 firearm safety rules, people. That right there broke 1. Treat every firearm like as it was loaded. Well, it was literally was loaded. 2, don't point it at anything you're not intending to destroy. Well, I don't think he just intended to destroy himself, but it happened. I was shocked when I heard about that. I'm very shocked. I'm like,
Yeah, he might have been at one point a responsible gun owner and made a mistake, or he just let it lax and he didn't, or he wasn't even a good owner to begin with. It all depends on who that person was.
oh yeah, and that right there, that literally shows it takes some kind of physical force to make that weapon go off. And this isn't a dog's paw. So that makes me think of some of these AI videos on Facebook showing cat getting fed up and loading a grenade into a grenade launcher and watching it launch, or this German Shepherd taking out a bazooka out of a house and firing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is this world coming to these days? You know,
And I mean,
Right.
it's not the dog's fault. The dog didn't intend to. He was just looking for a place to lay down.
yeah. Imagine trying to explain to everybody, I got shot by my dog.
Yeah.
To me, that oh, there's so many jokes that can go on, but it's not a joking matter. For one,
Yeah.
oh, and
Although there are people that are going to joke about it, it is definitely not a joking matter.
yeah, um, little channel update for everybody that's watching. As soon as Charlie Kirk's shooter is going through actual proceedings, I'm waiting on that right now. There's just common motions going on, so not enough to report to stream and everything. But as soon as I do know the date of the actual court proceedings, then we'll be broadcasting then. Should have new videos of like gun reviews. I have one coming up of the Cool Fire training barrels. Stay tuned on that. Working on that one, and also Mantis X Laser Academy. You guys stay tuned on that. I'm working on some videos for that. Anything else, you guys, for the podcast?
No.
Nope. I think we're pretty much done.
Yep.
All right. Well, aloha, everybody. Come back around for Friday's episode of the Gun Talk, and we'll see you then.
Happy holidays.
Happy holidays.